the wood in his bones. The squire was on his knees in the mud when Galanhan crouched beside him.
"Tell me what you see."
The boy stared at the prints.
"Dryads. 4 of them."
"5."
Galanhan pressed 2 fingers to the edge of one track.
"The 5th stepped in the 4th one's print. They're hiding their number."
He stood, slowly, and rolled his left sleeve back down without looking at it. The bark had spread again. This morning it had reached his elbow. Patch by patch, year by year, the curse kept growing, like a tree deciding where to go next. He had been fighting it for 6 years.
"We make camp here.
Galanhan said.
You stay until I come back.
The squire looked up.
"And if you don't?"
Then you go home."
He said it the same way he said everything. Flat, final, not cruel, but not kind either. That was his way. He kept people close enough to teach them, and far enough back that he was the only one who could get hurt. He had learned that the hard way. The forest around the stronghold was wrong. Not dark exactly, just too still. No birds, no wind in the upper branches. Like the trees themselves had been holding their breath for a very long time. Galanhan moved through it without sound. His bow hung across his back. 18 arrows in the quiver at his right hip. His short blade hung at his left side, in easy reach of his right hand. He had moved it there after the bark stiffened 2 fingers on his left hand and made gripping unreliable. Small adjustments. You made them and moved on. The fortress rose out of the ancient trees like it had always been there. Maybe it had. Stone wrapped in roots, towers disappearing into the canopy, torches burning green at every arch. He had stood here before, 6 years ago. He had charged through these same walls, made it to the central chamber, and been hurled back so many times he lost count. Each time the mage's spell hit him, he woke up at the entrance with less of himself than before. By the time he finally ran, the bark had covered half his chest. He knocked an arrow and walked in. The dryads came in waves. They always did. The first group came around a stone pillar, and Galanhan put 2 arrows into the front one before it cleared the corner. The second took a shaft through the shoulder and kept coming. He dropped it with his blade and kept moving. He didn't slow down. Slowing down was how you died. The throne hall. The long corridor with the crumbling arches. The iron door rusted half off its hinges. He remembered all of it. He moved through it like reading a map he had spent years memorizing. By the time he reached the inner hall, 8 arrows were gone, and his blade had a crack along the flat from taking a parry too hard. His left arm ached all the way to the shoulder. The central chamber opened before him. The mage was there. It was the same one. Galanhan knew it the moment he saw the eyes. Old light, the color of sap, the color his own left eye had turned after the second time the spell hit him 6 years ago.
"You came back,"
the mage said.
"I have a habit of that."
The mage raised both hands. The spell came like a wall of winter, cold and white and total. Galanhan threw himself to the side, but it caught him full in the chest. For one terrible moment, he felt the bark crawling across his ribs, felt roots trying to take hold behind his eyes, felt something that was him receding from something that was not. Then he was at the entrance, flat on his back, staring up at green torchlight. He got up. He came back 4 more times. Each return was the same. Fight through the waves, reach the chamber, get hit. Wake at the entrance with fewer arrows and something heavier than exhaustion sitting in his chest. On the 3rd trip, his right hand wouldn't stop shaking. On the 4th, he couldn't feel his left arm at all below the elbow. On the 5th attempt, the mage didn't even speak, just raised its hands the moment Galanhan crossed the threshold. He woke up face down in the snow, outside the fortress entirely, 20 feet into the trees. He did not know how long he lay there. He did not get up for a long time. The squire was there. Of course he was. The boy was crouched beside him, not touching, not speaking, just there. His short sword was drawn, which was either brave or foolish. Probably both.
I told you to stay at camp.
Galanhan said.
I followed at a distance. I watched from the doorway.
You could have been killed.
You nearly were.
The squire paused.
Every time the spell hit you, you looked more like them when you woke up. The bark, your eye.
He hesitated.
After the 5th time, I wasn't sure which one was going to walk out.
Galanhan went still. He pressed his right hand against the snow. He could feel the cold. But beneath it, he felt something else. Not heard, felt. The deep movement of roots far underground. The slow breath of things buried in the dark. He had been feeling that for 2 years. He had always thought of it as the curse spreading. Every time the spell hit you, you looked more like them. The mage's spell changed people, pushed dryad nature into them, found the human at their core and replaced it, piece by piece, until there was nothing left of what they had been. But what if there was nothing left to replace? He sat up. One arrow remained. The crack in his blade ran nearly all the way through. His left arm was dead weight at his side. His right leg shook when he put weight on it. He walked back into the fortress. Not running this time. No ambush. No tricks. He moved down the long corridor and through the rusted door and into the chamber, and he did not hurry. The dryads he passed fell back. Even they seemed to understand that something had changed. The mage watched him come.
You cannot win this,
It said. Galanhan kept walking. The mage raised both hands. The spell came like it always did, cold and total, and it hit Galanhan in the chest and reached inside him, looking for the human it needed to undo, and found nowhere left to go. The bark tried to spread and found it was already there. The roots tried to take hold and found they already had. The cold reached for his heart and found something that had finished changing long before tonight. The spell crashed through him and out the other side. He was still standing. The mage's hands dropped. Galanhan's right leg shook. He let it shake. He took one step, then another. The thing that had held this fortress for longer than he had been alive, that had sent every challenger screaming back to the entrance, that had never once had to retreat. It took one step back. Then two. It did not know what to do with something that would not break. Galanhan raised his blade. The fight was short. It was not clean. He took 2 wounds he would carry for weeks, and he gave back worse. When the mage fell, it fell all at once, like a tree finally giving in to rot. Galanhan stood over it for one breath. Then his legs stopped working. He woke up with his back against the chamber wall. The squire was beside him. The boy had dragged him there, which must have taken a while. The walls were cracking, stones splitting along the roots, the green torches going dark, one by one. Whatever magic had held this place together had been tied to the mage, and now the knot was undone.
We should move,
The squire said.
In a minute.
They sat. Around them the fortress came apart slowly, piece by piece, like something finally exhaling after a very long time. Galanhan looked at his left arm. The bark was still there. His eye was still wrong. He was not going to wake up tomorrow changed back into the man he had been before. He knew that. He had known it for a long time, probably. He had just never sat still long enough to feel it. He felt it now. The squire didn't say anything. He just sat beside him in the dust and the dark and waited. Somewhere outside, past the tree line, the birds came back. This has been a chapter from the Negsbane Iron series. Follow at Negsbane for more.